photo is static, but knowing what it is helps bring that photo to life.
The State Archives of North Carolina collects, preserves, and makes available for public use historical and evidential materials relating to North Carolina.
In this collection are hundreds of photos that capture North Carolinians over the centuries. But unfortunately, sometimes we don't know exactly what are in those photos, right? We don't know the people, we don't know the places. And so the archive relies on resources to do that. And one of the best resources they have is Karl Larson.
A significant number of the photographs in the collection are only marginally labeled, and some are completely unknown, save for the fact that they are related to North Carolina. We are raising the money to fund the work of local historian Karl Larson, who is instrumental in researching and identifying the unidentified photographs in our holdings. Karl is a Raleigh native son, a lifelong resident of the city, and an expert on the history of it, especially Raleigh's built environment. Karl has a unique knowledge base that is perfectly suited to identifying photos in two of the largest and most valuable collections here in the State Archives. The Albert Barden photo collection and the News and Observer negatives, both of which are heavily populated with Raleigh-related images.
Why is it important to know what are in these photos and accurately identify these buildings?
Well, primarily so that researchers have correct information. We also have a lot of requests from downtown developers of new properties that are interested in photographs. So having a correctly identified photograph, we're able to pull those out of the files and to make copy for them. This photograph is from the Albert Barden collection at the State Archives of North Carolina. For 40 or more years, this photo had been misidentified as an unidentified prison. And when I saw this photo, I realized that it was not a prison. It was actually a rare photograph of the State School for the Blind and Deaf that stood on this site right here at Castle Square, which I determined from 1872 aerial map of Raleigh and from studying the Sanborn fire insurance maps. I did some research online, looked up State School for the Blind and Deaf, and found a publication that was printed in 1915 on the 70th anniversary of the school. In that publication is this photograph right here.
So I kind of like to think of you as like a photo detective, right? So you have these mysteries in these photos. So how does it make you feel when you finally discover the unidentified prison, for example?
Well, being a photo detective is just like being a regular detective. You look at a photograph, there's clues everywhere. And the challenge is to put these clues together, use sources to identify different elements of the photo, and then if I'm successful, we'll be able to identify the photo itself. I get sort of a personal sense of delight in doing that, and also knowing that I've met the challenge and that others will be able to profit from my discoveries.
Karl's work directly benefits researchers. Every new identification he makes allows us to catalog a previously uncatalogued photo in our online catalog and share that ID with the world. Every bit of research audiovisual materials staff does as a result of Karl's being on board allows more information to be uncovered and shared with the public.
This is about the citizens of North Carolina, right? And this is their story, and it helps tell it when we know more accuracy about these photos so that when they see these photos online, it gives them kind of a way of recognizing the past and tells a little bit more about the heritage and the culture of a lot of the people that live here.
Exactly, and it gives them a sense of a place too.
Yeah.
You know, that's an actual thing that happened, and we have a photograph of it.
Exactly.
Whereas if it's unidentified, it's like, that's another old house, that's another old building. Yeah. But knowing what that is leads to realizing the importance of those structures to North Carolina history.